This is the NWA World's Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. Thank you for watching Mark's Name Joe. Un saludo a todos, cuídense mucho y a dar trancazos, cabrones.
Welcome back to Mark's Name Joe. Here we have another predictions episode. This time we're talking about NXT Takeover 31. And as you can see, it's not just people named Joe this time. We've got guests with us this evening. They're Keith Flemming and Sam Hough. They are two members of the Team Turnbuckle Podcast that can be found on the IB Sports Podcast Network.
What's going on, guys?
Glad you guys are here. I'm going to explain the point system real quick to you guys for our prediction shows.
Yeah.
We have 5 matches for NXT TakeOver 31. Confidence points is like this. Whoever you think is going to walk away guaranteed gets those 5 points. It goes all the way down to 1, and we have one side bet. We're going to say mark out, and that is going to be 1 point for something that you think is going to happen during the show. You guys understand?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be doing this. Joe, you want to kick it off?
Sure. So we're going to start out with Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. This match is probably something that not a lot of people are excited to see. I have been enjoying the build of Kushida as more of an aggressive superstar lately, and I'm hopeful that they continue that. I see him potentially challenging somebody else on this card pretty soon for their Cruiserweight Championship, and because of that, I'm giving Kushida the win to start off the show, and I'm putting 4 points in it.
I hate to agree right off the bat because I know it's better when we don't agree, but I have the exact same point total. I have 4 on Kushida. I for nothing else, it's just how tone deaf would it be with everything that's gone on with Velveteen Dream to put him in this match and have him go over. WWE's gotten a little bit better about, making sometimes the socially aware decision in matches, and NXT is even better than WWE at this. I just can't believe they would put Velveteen Dream in this position for any other, reason than to have Kushida go over. It'd be a big win for him. As you said, he's not even a heavyweight. Velveteen Dream is. It would definitely make him a legit #1 contender for the Cruiserweight belt. I'm pretty confident that Kushida is going to go over Velveteen Dream. And if not, WWE needs to turn off their mentions because I think it's going to go down on Twitter otherwise.
Not to, hopefully this won't be a clean sweep. I'm going Kushida, but I'm going to, because I'm more confident in other matches on the card, I think that it's also possible that Triple H has been very hard on, Velveteen Dream is there's no punishment for that. We found him innocent. So I'm a little skeptical that they wouldn't put him over here. I'm a little skeptical and think they might put him over here just because he's been losing so consistently.
Yeah, I'm right with her. How many points did you put on that one, Sam?
2.
You went with 2. All right. One of the best things about switching up points is you can do it right in the middle of the podcast if you want to.
I actually might. Let me put 3.
Ooh, okay, we're switching. See, I shouldn't have said nothing.
Court advantage right there, man. You don't want to give away all the rules.
I'm going to keep it simple. Kushida with 5 confidence points. He is hot right now. I don't think it's exactly what you guys said. I don't have to repeat it. I think that he's just too hot right now, and dream is dream. Let's go right into the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. We have champion Santos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. I'm going to keep it simple here, too. New champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott, is going to walk out of there with that belt. He has been pretty good lately. He's a lot of fun to watch. Great matches. 2 points. Only 2.
I am picking Santos Escobar, and I'm fairly confident about that. I'm going to go 4 on that. I think that they're building to Kushida versus Escobar.
Ooh.
I
can't switch now. It's too late. That's a good point. That's a good point. Keith, how about you?
I'm going to go with 2 with Santos Escobar. I wanted to say Isaiah Scott. I think that he's got a world of potential and upside, but not to go to the old school booking theory, but, they had the big win a week before. That's usually not good, in the street fight. Because of that, I see Santos Escobar going over. Not to mention, there's going to be some title changes at this. And, a lot of these matches look like the champions are going to retain, but I just can't believe they're going to have 4 of those. I think there's going to be some surprises in other matches. And for that, I just don't see this being Isaiah Scott's moment.
I've got to agree with Sam. I definitely think we're building to Santos Escobar versus Kushida. I can also see kind of going with Joe. I can see them deciding to change it up and put the belt on Swerve Scott here because he's an incredible talent. He's been very well deserving of it too. Because of that, I've got Escobar winning, but I'm only giving it 1 point. I think it will be a fantastic match though.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
So coming up next, we've got Damien Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. I think that Damien Priest is my favorite person in NXT right now. I think his moveset, his presence, the fact that he's a big athletic guy. I always love big athletic guys. I love his voice. I love that he gets cheap champagne celebrations in a hot tub with hot women. I love it. I love everything about the guy. I wish I looked that good in leather pants. And because of that, I've got Priest going over Gargano, and I'm giving it 3 points.
3 points. Wow. I'm going to jump ahead these turnbuckle guys here, okay? I'm going 3 points with Priest. I'm going to walk with the other Joe. I think it's too early to take the title off him. And Gargano's, he's great, but it's just too early to take the title off Priest.
I'm going with Priest as well for the same reasons you said, just the one last month. I'm going 2 because I think that there's going to be some sort of, with both Candace and Johnny being in the title picture, I think it's more likely that one of them wins, and Io has been champion for almost 4 months now, 3.5 months. And I think it's more likely that Candace LeRae wins the title, and she needs to win more. So I'm going 2 with Priest.
So I'm going to be the contrarian here. I'm going to put 1 on Johnny Gargano.
Oh.
I'm not obviously very confident about it or to put more points on it, but I actually think that Sam was halfway on to what is going to happen here. I think both him and Candace are going to win. I think it's a storyline they really haven't done in NXT where you have both a husband and a wife, the kind of 2-man power trip. I think it would make some entertaining TV for a few months. And it's not that unusual for a champion in NXT to win the belt and then drop it relatively quickly. We've seen it with a ton of face world champions. I don't really know what to consider Damien Priest sometimes week to week because he's kind of a tweener in a lot of ways. But I just think there's a very good chance that both Candace and Johnny are going to come out on top, potentially with one of them being in the main event to where they celebrate with the belts at the end of this pay-per-view. So I'm going to put 1 on Gargano, but obviously I can understand why Damien Priest should win this match. But again, you're not going to have all these champions retain when they're probably all pretty heavy favorites.
I agree. This is one of those matches out of the entire card that could go either way. I still think they're going to go with Priest, though.
I think we can all agree that Gargano is going to make Damien Priest look like $1 million, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he's so good against bigger
down.
opponents.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Let's jump right into the next one. That NXT Women's Championship match. We have Io versus Candace. You guys already touched a little bit on Candace. Do you want to go pick it right up?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I've got 3 on Candace LeRae winning. There's a bunch of reasons for this. I will let you know, first of all, that if you listen to our podcast, the Team Turnbuckle Podcast, got to get that plug in there. I have been singing Candace LeRae's praises for months. I think that they have not used her to the way that I think they should have. I think she is an interesting and different champion that they would have had in quite some time because you've had all these really good wrestlers that have been champion on the women's side in NXT recently, but none of them are big personalities. Like, no offense to Rhea Ripley, like she's great at what she is, but I mean, she's not that interesting. Io Shirai is an unbelievable performer. I can't wait to see her mixing up with the 4 horsewomen on the main roster in the near future. But again, she's not that interesting. Candace LeRae is interesting. Like, just everything about her. I love the way she's changed her look in recent weeks. I think they're going to reward her with this championship. Sam made a great point about that, Io's been champ for so long. Don't forget, too, we have drafts coming up here. In no time, I think Io is going to be drafted up to either SmackDown or Raw. What else is there left for her to do in NXT? She has earned that call up. And it's going to be one of my favorite moments in NXT is when you have a long reigning champion lose, because you're literally happy for both performers because you have a new champ. And you typically know in this situation that this is either the last match for the champion that loses or either their second to last match, and they might have one more send off on an NXT show. But I'm very excited for this match. I'm hopefully going to be excited for Candace LeRae because I think she really deserves this, and I got 3 points on her winning the championship.
Solid.
I'm much less confident. I'm going Io just because the women's division feels kind of thin right now in NXT, and screw it, I'm gonna go Candace. Yeah, whatever. Let's go with Candace. But because I picked Priest to win, I think one of them is gonna. One of the Garganos is gonna win. I think that Candace is due. I think that Io. I agree with the call up, but I'm not confident at all. It's a coin flip for me. I'm going 1.
I think you read my notes. I got Candace winning the championship with 1 point as well. She deserves it. I'm going to keep it simple again. She really does. She's been there, and since her heel turn and her look, I think she deserves it. So, Candace with 1.
And it's nice to see her like stepping out beyond like her character for so long in NXT has been Johnny Gargano's wife. Yeah. It's nice to see her be Candace LeRae.
One thing that us internet wrestling fans all seem to know is that Candace LeRae is a badass. And she has not gotten a fair shake of showing that she's a badass in NXT yet. And I think I'm going to, completely agree with everybody else on what they've said. And I'm going to go with Candace LeRae winning, and I'm going to give her 2 points, though, because I could see Io winning. But I do think that better TV than the two-person power trip is Johnny Gargano descending into madness, trying to do anything he can to get a title. And maybe we see Johnny Gargano versus Kushida as #1 contendership to the Cruiserweight Championship comes up. I would love to see that. I think that match could even put Kushida further over and then guarantee that he would take the belt off of Santos. But let's get back to Candace. I think Candace is going to put out a star-making performance in every way, shape, and form. And I do think that this is going to be the best women's match we see in 2020 because I think these two are going to give everything they've got, and then they're going to leave it all in the ring.
The triple threat at TakeOver earlier this year was pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we might get Bailey Asuka in November for Survivor Series.
The main
That's
roster has been good,
though, right? With the NXT, I mean, they set that precedence last year, where I'm assuming they have to go back to that now.
Yeah, they
We'll
do.
see.
But Candace would be awesome with Bailey and Asuka. I mean, that would be fun, and so would Io. So I mean, either way, you're going to get a banger at Survivor Series if that's what they decide to do.
I think if they were going to go that route, I think Io would have to hang on to the title. I think she looks better on paper against Asuka and Bailey. That's my opinion on it.
So that brings us to our main event of the evening. We've got Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. I'm going to take the lead on this one. I've got Balor winning, and I've got all 5 confidence points in this. Now, I don't think that it's going to be a bad match. I'm not saying that I guarantee that Finn Balor is going to win because, why would Kyle O'Reilly have a chance? I think this is going to be a star-making performance for Kyle O'Reilly. And this is where I'm going to mark out. I'm going to make my prediction here that Fishing Rod, Bobby Fishin and Roderick Strong decide to come out, and Kyle O'Reilly does everything in his power to turn babyface and send them away. They're going to try to get involved, and he's not going to let them. And that could ultimately cost him the match. But that's going to be, his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And we're going to see a great babyface turn that's going to allow him to stay aligned with Adam Cole, who's now pretty firmly a face on NXT. And we could see the Undisputed Era split that way into 2 teams because of it. But I think Finn Balor is going to have a short run ultimately with the title, but nowhere near this short. He's going to get a dominant win when it's all said and done over Kyle O'Reilly. 5 points.
5 points. All right, Sam.
I'm going to also go with 5 points for Finn. I'm also going to use my markout moment, though similar to Joe's, diverging a little. I think that Roddy and Fish are going to get thrown, and then Adam Cole is going to cost Kyle O'Reilly accidentally the title. They're going to officially do the babyface turn down the line where Undisputed Era turns on Adam Cole and joins Finn Balor to do a new Ursat's Bullet Club that they'll call Balor Club. So I'm going that Adam Cole costs Kyle the match and Finn wins the match. That's my 5-star and my markout.
I'm going to go with 5 points as well. I think it needs to be stated that NXT deserves credit for putting O'Reilly in this position because we all know this is not where they thought their main event scene would be right now. That they assumed that Karrion Kross would be the dominant champion. I'm assuming he probably would have gone over Adam Cole, at the first pay-per-view, the last NXT Takeover. And then I believe in this one, he probably would have fought Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor is being used. It's the only thing that I was frustrated with his win. It's just a placeholder. And I'm assuming we're not too far down the line from Karrion Kross coming back. I mean, the dude did finish the match with that separated shoulder. And I know people say, well, Finn Balor did too. It's a little different throwing around Seth Rollins and throwing around Keith Lee. So, I mean, Karrion Kross is a big, strong. Joke? It's not a fat joke. It's just Keith Lee is a big dude. I hope that they use this to build up Kyle O'Reilly. From everything I've read, they say he's an unbelievable performer in the ring. I haven't seen him do a ton of single stuff because I don't know him outside of NXT. Obviously, he's done a lot of
Ring of Honor champ.
See, I didn't see that. So I'm excited to see this because I know Balor can go in the ring. I think it's going to probably be the match of the night. But I'll go ahead and throw out my mark out moment too, which I seriously doubt it's going to happen, but what the hell? I came on the podcast. I might as well use it. I'm going to say Karrion Kross comes out after Finn Balor wins a hard-fought match, basically says I'm coming back for my title. And, if they're waiting until the next takeover, he actually doesn't have to wrestle still for, I believe it's another 2 months. And I could see that they could basically continue to let him heal. And then there's your main event for the next takeover. So that's going to be my mark out moment. But I would be absolutely shocked if Kyle O'Reilly wins this match. Like, absolutely floored. I don't know what kind of storyline that they would have in place. I'm assuming it would lead to some kind of Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. That's why I actually think if he did win, he would cheat with the help of his, the other members of the Undisputed Era, and it would be Adam Cole that would have a problem with it and therefore lead to their feud. But I just do not see it happening. This has got to be Finn Balor's win here.
I was debating on who to pick here. You guys, looking over our entire card, we've all picked pretty similar when it comes to the points, but this is me still thinking. I'm still on the edge. I think that Finn Balor is going to win and walk out champion, but I'm going to put my 4 points on Kyle O'Reilly. So in case he does win, I can laugh at all of you. I can laugh at all of you and be like, I won predictions, because 4 points on Kyle O'Reilly will win predictions for me. I'm going to go.
That's like going last on Price is Right, though, and
$1, Bob.
Exactly. It's a smart move. I mean,
I kind of let it that way so it would happen because I was undecided where I was going to go with the points. I'm going to use my mark out moment. Joe, you got to be a little more excited for the future. Mark out. You're marking out. All right. The mark out moment is going to be Undisputed Era is going to come out, and they're going to help O'Reilly win. He is not going to be happy about it, though. And that's not going to be Adam Cole. It's going to be the other. It's going to be like, what did you call them?
Fishing rod.
Fishing rod.
Great name.
Yeah, the fishing rod. Okay.
I like it.
It's going to be, I can just see like him winning. And if he does win this and he gets that help, looking at them like, I just won the championship, but I'm not happy because I wanted to do it on my own.
Is fishing rod copyrighted or patent pending? Because I just want to know if we're on our podcast.
Jump on it.
Go right out ahead.
You heard it first. Team Turnbuckle Podcast, fishing rod.
I love it.
Kyle O'Reilly, 4 points. It's going to bury me or put me on top.
There you go. All right. Good shout.
But I think it's a great credit to how good NXT is that like they had Kyle O'Reilly because of a COVID outbreak. And like, I think that we're all, after like the way they put him over, everyone's like, I mean, it's not going to happen, but maybe.
Yeah. They're very, WWE in general has a wealth of history that they can always go back into, and they can create a story almost out of nothing on an instant. And they can create this because Kyle O'Reilly's practically a star right now after 2 weeks of quality TV. Well, that was fun. Thank you guys for coming on. I want to give you guys a second to tell us more about your podcast, to plug whatever you want to plug.
Would appreciate it if you follow both myself. I'm at Keith Flemming on Twitter. It's KeithFlemming. The Team Turnbuckle Podcast is also on Twitter. It is at Team Turnbuckle, just spelled out. We do have a Facebook page as well that we're trying to grow. It's a group, shares a ton of good wrestling stuff. We rate wrestlers, ask questions, debate, argue, just do what wrestling fans do. And then we would really appreciate if you would follow the IB Sports Podcast feed. Not only do we do the Team Turnbuckle Podcast, I'm also involved with a weekly gambling podcast where we cover all sports, football, basketball, baseball, golf, as well as fantasy football. And then finally, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Love your work. Love both of your Twitter pages. Keep doing what you're doing. And anytime you would like us to come on the show, it would be an honor. And we do appreciate you having us.
I want to plug my Twitter account. It is my first initial S, my last name Hough, H-O as in Oscar, U-G-H, 610. I'd also like to plug some people that I'm a big fan of. Bill Handstock, who is Sundown Motel on Twitter, has a book coming out called We Promised You a Great Main Event. It's an unauthorized WWE history. Bill is a really cool guy. I used to write for With Spandex. I also want to promote Emily Pratt, who has written an amazing – she does great writing on New Japan and did a great series recently on Will Ospreay and New Japan. She is Emily of Pratt, and the articles I'm talking about are at Fanbyte. It's BYTE.com. Check those out. And thank you guys for having us on, by the way.
One other thing real quick, too, is we are working on another podcast that probably will be once a month where we get it started, and we still are working on a name, but we're revisiting some of the greatest storylines in the history of wrestling. The first one we have picked out, it's the Mega Powers, the whole storyline of them together exploding. One podcast will be leading up to how the Mega Powers were formed, one while they're together, and then one after their breakup. Some of the other ones we have scheduled that we've kind of just made a list of would be the Daniel Bryan run up to his championship at WrestleMania 30, which started with his win over Cena at SummerSlam the year before. And then as well as the Brett Shawn Screwjob and Sam's passion project, the Triple H Reign of Terror from 2000 to 2002. So do look for those coming soon.
Wait. I do just want to make one correction, is that it's a two-part episode about Triple H. The first one is from his God tier run from Royal Rumble of 2000 to his quad entry. And then when he nearly drove me away from wrestling from the fall of 2002 to 2005.
He hates Triple H.
We'll
Randy
get
Orton.
Just Randy Orton. I've softened on Triple H.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I can't wait to add up these points, see who's going to come out on top. Just remember, as always, we have a guest to say it this time.
Evan?
We are Dallas, buddy.